This report changes everything for the Calgary Flames. If you weren't on Team Tank before this video, this new report may change your mind as it shows concrete proof of why getting high-end talent is essential for long-term success. The struggling Calgary Flames cannot score, so they need to fix that problem for a brighter future. We're going to get into all that more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. And first and foremost, we got to talk about last night's game as, hey, the one thing that I think everyone was kind of thinking was, hey, will we ever score again? Back-to-back shutouts against Central Division opponents. We face another Central Division opponent, one of the worst teams in the league, and hey, at least we scored not only once but twice, taking the 3-2 regulation loss in St. Louis. Now, for people on Team Tank, this is just perfect. You know, not only did the Flames lose in regulation to a team that was decently close to them in the standings, but certain guys scored and maybe increased their value. And who am I talking about? Well, of course, I'm talking about Rasmus Andersson. As if we get into the box score, let's start with the skaters who got on the score sheet. Matty Coronato got a goal after he's been facing quite a bit of criticism in the media lately for not playing all that well. His underlying numbers have actually been really good this year. We've seen him be benched. We've seen him, obviously, the production not there, but he gets a goal, and Rasmus Andersson gets a goal as well, hopefully increasing his trade value. That's what people want to see the most. Michael Buckland and Braden Pahal also get assists on the night, which is just, again, I'm just hyping up the box score for a loss. That's essentially how the Flames season is going at this point. Dustin Wolf had pretty much the most bog standard stat line you can have for a goalie. He gave up 3 goals on 31 shots, the .903 save percentage, 310 goals against average. So yeah, you know, pretty standard there. Not the numbers he wants to be at. Wasn't enough to get the Flames the win, but overall he played pretty solid. I would argue, I mean, probably the Flames' best player last night. But a lot of people are starting to say that this Flames team is unwatchable. And after, 2 shutouts, you could kind of argue for that. At least last night, they made a game out of it. Maybe for some people, they were thinking, oh gosh, Flames, please don't tie it. But either way, that's what happened in last night's game. Now, if we get into what changes everything, what does it have to do? Well, it has to do with scoring, of course. As we were just talking about, the Flames are a team that can't really score. And what does, the NHL scoring leaders of this season provide a blueprint in terms of the Flames rebuild? That's essentially what it means. Should the Flames tank or not? Does that help scoring in the future? And obviously, there's no right or wrong answer here, but we do have a great article here from Eric Francis of Sportsnet. This is actually from a couple days ago. I was going to do a video on it, but it just worked perfectly for what we're talking about today as well. I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but please feel free to go read the entire article if you are interested. But we're going to just really cram into the numbers here and show maybe the scoring leaders this year do show that blueprint for what the Flames need to do in terms of a rebuild. So as the Calgary Flames contemplate their path forward, they needn't look any further than the NHL scoring leaders for guidance. And I will also preface, since this article is from a couple days ago, the numbers of the actual points for the scoring leaders will have changed in the past couple days, but it's still the same relative idea. So just wanted to, say that before the comments come at me. Now, there's a glaring trend amongst the league's top point getters that should be driving the Calgary Flames to alter their hybrid rebuild approach and embrace the opportunity their horrific start presents. 3 of the top 4 scorers in the NHL are first overall picks: Nathan MacKinnon, Connor Bedard, and Macklin Celebrini. So no more chasing the mushy middle, as has been the team's trademark the last 3 decades. This needs to be the year they finally break into the top 2 or 3 of the draft, something the organization has never done. And it's funny because I've seen lately some articles, people talking in the media that, this ownership group is so hoping for just kind of a almost miracle playoff run like what happened in 2004. Now, every Flames fan loves 2004, obviously not the way it ended, but we all know it was in. But either way, that ownership group is hoping, just getting the right guys together at the right time and they could potentially win the cup, rather than, rebuilding and just creating a really good team from scratch. Now, if we take a look at the NHL's current leading scorers, here's the list. You can pause and zoom in if you want, or just zoom in general, but it is quite glaring. So as of 2 days ago, let me say that again. As of 2 days ago, Nathan MacKinnon was top, and he was a first overall pick. Second in the league, Leo Carlsson. Where was he taken? Second overall. Bedard and Celebrini, third and fourth, also first overall, which is pretty crazy. You can go down the list. The only really glaring one there is Kaprizov, taken at 135, but that's so different just because it's an older, Russian guy, which is obviously quite different. But you go down the list, there's guys who were, top 2 essentially. Jack Eichel's in there, Connor McDavid's in there, John Tavares is in there, Evgeny Malkin is in there, and even Sidney Crosby is in there. All first or second overall picks, and then the rest are pretty much all top 10, except for Kaprizov. So that shows that, hey, maybe the blueprint, you kind of need those first overall or top pick guys from the draft. It really does yield results. Not always, of course. There are outliers. Think of guys like Yakupov, but still, it is quite glaring. Now, because the Flames have a long history of being averse to bottoming out, which has long been the most obvious path to rebuilding championship teams, the franchise highest pick was 4th overall in 2014 when they selected Sam Bennett. Since then, they've hovered in the mid to late first round. The result, a team that has missed the playoffs 3 years in a row, 4 of the last 5, and has advanced past the first round once in the last decade. Last year, they were 4th last in scoring, with their team leader, Kadri, finishing 55th overall in scoring. Although a talented 7th overall pick himself, Kadri is 35 and currently sits 112th in the league with 11 points in 17 games. That's obviously different now. It's 11 points in 18 games, but still, it is overall quite interesting. Now, by all accounts, Gavin McKenna has the capability to join Celebrini and Bedard as the new faces of the league. The Flames' reluctance to embrace a full rebuild stems from the fact that there are no guarantees a teardown of any sort can be rebuilt in a timely fashion. See Buffalo. There's a couple other teams you can bring in there, but definitely Buffalo. But given the fact that their playoff hopes are all but mathematically dashed already, it's a no-brainer to play out the hand they've dealt themselves, ensuring they have as many lottery balls as possible to land McKenna. If you're not drafting at the top, you're not scoring at the top is essentially what changes everything for the Flames here. And in today's NHL, that's the difference between watching the playoffs and playing in them. The Flames need to improve their scoring, and the best way to do that is getting that high-end talent through the draft. Is it guaranteed? No, but it's better than pretty much any other option other than selling everything you have for one scorer, I suppose. But either way, what Francis is arguing here, it's tough to argue against. I know certain people will never be Team Tank, and that's totally fair. Stick to your guns, of course, but in this sense, it might be the Flames' best option going forward. And I also wanted to say that not everything's bad. It's not all bad. We don't have to sit here and say how bad the Flames are and that tanking might not work. Look, we still have a bright future ahead. We've got some great young pieces, and one of those pieces can score. And I just wanted to share with you guys that a 5-point weekend earns freshman Cole Reshny his first NCHC Forward of the Week honor. That is the conference that he plays in college hockey. I think that's Nationals something hockey conference, national championship. I actually don't know what that second C is for. Oh, it's National Collegiate Hockey Conference. That's pretty obvious. But either way, instead of me trying to figure this out, let's just stick on the fact that he got Forward of the Week, which is super cool. A big congratulations to him. Another comparison here is that Cole Reshny has 10 points in 10 games to start his NCAA career. He's ahead of the pace of fellow first rounders like TJ Oshie, Brock Besser, Jonathan Taves, Brock Nelson, Nick Schmaltz. He's also getting a lot of D-zone starts and killing penalties. This Brad Elliott Schlossman fella went on to write a whole article about it, but that's just what we wanted to share the most from Reshny. Really, he had a great season in the dub last year with Victoria, of course, and now doing so well to start his NCAA career. It's really exciting for Flames fans. So not everything is bad. The future can still be bright no matter what when you got pieces like Reshny. And again, a big congratulations to him on that honor. Now let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video, as we love to do here on the channel. It comes from the most recent video, of course. Went pretty well with the theme of today's video, not gonna lie, and it comes from Joseph here. Simple to the point, says they have to tank. This is a perfect year to do it. So Joseph would 100% agree with Eric Francis on, kind of tanking in order to get a really good player to hopefully help the scoring for the future. You can't win the cup if you can't score. You can't win games if you're scoring 0 goals. So maybe this is the perfect year to tank. I know that's going to hurt some people's ears, but essentially it's probably the Flames' best option left to this point. Maybe trade away some of the vets like Raz, even Kadri, maybe Coleman, or more. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to what you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.